Hi, my name is Joel and welcome to Chinga Film. In this video, I'll be bringing you guys behind the scenes on how I shoot my weddings here in Malaysia. The objective for me creating this video is simple. It's so that you, the wedding couples, or maybe my competitor, knows what goes into producing and creating these beautiful wedding videos. So let's go on. An AWD or actual wedding day shoot would normally consist of two people. Human number one, of course, would be me. And human number two will be my assistant. Primarily, my responsibility on the day is to direct the couples and to make sure that any creative decision that goes into the final wedding video is of the best interest of the couple. Depending on the type of wedding I'm doing, these decisions include beauty shots, wedding details, lighting, arrangement of the tea ceremony, and many more. My assistant, on the other hand, too has a big responsibility in helping me to accomplish those goals. On the shoot, he is in charge of a few things. When I need a certain lens or a certain equipment for a certain shot, he has to know where it is and help me get it. He is also in charge of handling the lights on that day. He has to know how to operate the light as well as understand where the light source should be coming from. It is by no means a one-man band. I would have certainly died from doing that alone. Can you imagine how am I going to direct the beauty shots and control the light at the same time? Pro tip to competitors watching this, don't shoot alone unless you want your couples to have crappy wedding videos, so don't do that, okay? Moving on. On the day of the wedding, we will normally arrive an hour later after the makeup artists arrive. For example, if the makeup artists arrive at 6 AM, then we will be there at 7 AM. The reason behind this is simple. If we arrive the same time as the makeup artist, we would have a bride without some makeup on and maybe still half asleep. But if we arrive an hour later, the bride's makeup is partially done, she could have already been fully awake by now, and when we come in with our cameras and lights, we are ready to shoot a happy bride. Pro tip, make your bride happy. So, while the makeup is going on, me and my assist will start filming the wedding details. We will shoot the wedding rings, the shoes, the wedding gown, or maybe some other wedding details that we could find. And when we are done with that, we would then find some sentimental items that are around the house to film. Sentimental items are normally photographs, family photos, or wedding photos of their family members. Basically, we are looking for items that could connect with them on a personal level when we deliver the final wedding video. Apart from shooting the wedding details and sentimental items, we will also shoot some environment shots. What are environment shots, you may ask? For example, the front of the house, the surrounding area, or some of the nice flowers or anything that catches my interest. The reason behind this is because when we are doing the edit, we would have some establishing shots to insert titles before we go into the main video. It creates a nice, smooth, and coherent story to the overall wedding video. While we are picking up these shots, we will occasionally check on the bride to know how is the progress of her makeup coming. And from time to time, we will bounce in and out from the makeup session and take a few shots of her with the makeup artist. Pro tip, if the bride is wearing her engagement ring during the makeup process, it is one of my favorite shots to take. I would ask the bride to place her hand with the engagement ring on her leg, and I will get some shots from the top to highlight the ring and details. When all her makeup is done, that is where the real fun begins. The beauty shot. If time permits, I will coordinate with the photographer of the day to take some of the bride's beauty shots. This process would take about 15 to 30 minutes depending on the schedule of the day. This is where we will go straight into crazy focus beast mode because this is where we could bring out our lights and go crazy. Well, not literally crazy, but we just love nice lighting. We will do the veiling by the parents as well during this stage. And after all the beauty shots and veiling is done, we will now usher the groom into the house and pass the baton to the bridesmaid to have their gate crash. At this point, we can't control much creatively except to give a few directions on where the groomsman should stand so that we could get nice lighting. Apart from that, everything else is spontaneous and impromptu. After many ang paos given, nasty food swallowed, and image burned, the groom can now officially go and claim his rightful wife. Not so soon. More ang paos are needed. and occasionally the confession of love of the groom to the bride would take place. During this time, we would normally step in to position the bride and groom so that I and the photographer is able to capture both of that expression. We would normally do this by placing the bride behind the door and the groom on the other side. And after the gate crash and confession of love, we are finally onto the tea ceremony. So during the tea ceremony, I will instruct the couples to serve tea concurrently to the parents and request the parents to drink the tea concurrently as well. Why, you may ask? Well, the reason is quite simple. Reason number one is because the shot looks nicer when both the parents are drinking the tea at the same time. And the second reason is because when parents drink tea together, it shows togetherness and warmth, showing the bond of once two individual families now coming together as one. So that is how important a tea ceremony is in the Chinese wedding tradition. Moving on, after the tea ceremony is done, family photos are taken. We will then arrange the bridesmaid and groomsmaid in 2 rows to usher the newlyweds into the car so that they could head to the groom's side to have the tea ceremony. So once we are at the groom's place, we have the exact same tea ceremony ritual like what we did at the bride's place. And after all that is done, and if time permits, we will gather all the bridesmaid and groomsmen to have some beauty shots. So that is basically how we shoot a Chinese wedding here in Malaysia. But of course, all weddings are different, but these are the rough guidelines and steps that we would normally take to go through at a Chinese wedding. If you'd like to see me do more of this behind the scenes breakdown, do let me know in the comment section below and we could hang out there. Thank you for watching. Joel from Jingga Film, signing out.